Are these just new pages?
Yeah.
Basically, then 260,000. Okay, so we'll start with the A fund. Michelle, who's coming today? Any of the departments?
Kate and Mary Ellen.
Just the
At
building?
9:30 at 9:30.
Page 26. Just looking at the disability insurance, about 22.
488.
There you go. Good catch. We had red circles, now we have white ones, we're good.
Okay, so we're starting with the town board, personal services. The only, again, all the personal services are going to be a 4% proposed increase. Major change here is in the personal services is Amber is getting the stipend of $10,000. Supervisor, we had increased that, and she felt that her suggestion that we take 4,000, that we bumped it up, make it 10,000, and put that in Shelby's salary, because Shelby's taken over the whole budget process for us, and she has the new civil service title, and so we feel justified in doing that. Okay.
Just out of curiosity, on the councilman's salaries, that increase is what?
4%.
It is 4%.
Everything's 4%, unless it's noted. Okay, now the next expenses. The increase is $5,000 in professional services. And again, that goes to outside counsel, accountants, consultants, anything else we might.
Grant writer.
So it's a $5,000 increase there.
Yeah, that, on the professional services, that cover us there?
Well, if you look year to date,
Yes, I did a
Okay.
specified plan. Yeah, I went through and looked at the professional services for the past couple of years, and sometimes the town gets sued, we have to like bring in extra people. When we had, oil issues, we had them, as that. We're also, we're going to secret consultants, so we have some cushion in there for that. So unfortunately, I was hoping we could take this number down from last
Right.
year's 195, but we can't.
Yeah, and I would say that we're probably, just a small one, but the grants, with Jen, we utilize her a little bit more because we have her on some special projects.
right,
Like the capital planning, actual plan, developing a capital plan and other things that we have her on. So I've been monitoring, salary wise, but she's still within the confines of what we budgeted for her. And God knows she's worth every penny.
awesome.
There we go, I found it. Yeah, we've got Cullen and Ski, Naziano, and Barnowski. Gatsby 75.
Mandated.
Yeah, I was gonna say that whatever the compliances that we have to do. And then miscellaneous surveys, secret people.
And again, this year, it's an anomaly, but who knows what's gonna be going forward. You know, we have, two separate outside counsels we have to pay for because, supervisor and the town attorney are being sued personally as well as the town board.
Right.
It's money that Stephen's trying to get the insurance company to, pay, but it doesn't look like they're gonna. So it's coming out of taxes. Okay, next is, media. This now, again, the media and, was separate, IT was separate. We're combining the two this year.
Yep.
Why do I have that blank?
What's what?
It's in
It's in IT.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yeah.
So the script, okay.
Kevin is going to come in on Monday.
Okay.
10:30 to go over, we had a meeting yesterday talking about, this is what happened at the town. I want to do, computers. We have on retainer just to sit down and go through this, in place, and is there any place that we should be keeping up? And so they're going to look at that and come up with the different measures we do need to add something, so he's going to research the cost on that, and get back to us by Monday.
Right? Okay, so justice court is next.
Page 5 of 55.
Okay, justice court. And, 4% increase. The, personal services. Okay, 4% increase there.
I noticed the interpreter has gone up because we're getting more.
Yes.
More need for that. So you could see the through the end of August, it was over $2,400, which is 2/3 of a year, so we're budgeting $4,000. If the trend continues, we would use between $3,600 and $4,000 in that one code.
The only addition on here, other than that increase, is we added this, again, I mentioned this the other day, we added the association of towns to each department. So, rather than have it all on the town board. So we know who's going to this. They're mandated to attend those. Well, they're not mandated, but they get courses they can take there.
And then the thing I think about traveling, why that line's added.
The travel was, that was
For Mary Faith,
the drug court.
yeah.
Yeah, Ellen Rosenblum had started the town and that involvement, and we continued to be part of it, so, that's an important to the. We had that in there. Okay, next is supervisor. Again, 4% increase. Shelby's eligible for longevity this year.
Even possible.
It's a good thing and a bad thing, Sean. It's a good thing because it's monetary, and another thing is you get older.
Now, the last line of the personal services and the supervisor, last year, we created the position of committee clerk, and we put it in the budget in the supervisor and under, in the B fund, but it's kind of a accounting nightmare, because we also have it for some of the committees, and we're transferring funds all the time. So I don't know how we're gonna end up doing it, but we're gonna to show it in the budget, we're just gonna show it in each committee and department, as opposed to overall committee clerk.
And then I think what we'll end up doing is we'll do a budget transfer at the beginning of the year, pulling it from all of the different places,
Mhm.
put it on the line so that for payroll purposes,
Right.
it's just getting posted to the one
Right,
line.
okay. So this is not a $23,000 deduction, it's money's elsewhere. Okay. Equipment stays the same, AGP, been a little bit of an increase there. Everything else is the same. Any questions on this?
No.
Okay, town board, other items, again, independent order. Guess they bill us at the end of the year.
Yes.
Yeah, we have not been billed yet.
Okay, tax receiver.
We have, on the independent auditor, last year's audit, did we approach the 75,000?
No, that's what I just asked if we, how about
Just on,
2021?
yeah, on 2021. And I know it's gone up.
It looks like it was 80, like 80, but I'll have to double check that.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, we're around there.
All right. Obviously, we're gonna need it.
Okay, taxes, again, 4% for the personal services. Equipment stays the same, postage has gone up, because postage has gone up. Computer software stays the same. And Maria asked for 2650 for officer miscellaneous. I proposed 2200. Last year we had 2000, so it went up 2%, went up $200. Yeah.
Now the clerk in this one, it was only 2%, right?
Yes. Oh, and this one, yeah, thank you. Yeah, and this one is 2%. Receiver taxes is 4%, but the clerk is 2%, and that's because we hired Blanca the middle of last year, and we started her what we considered a fair salary. Okay, the next one gets a little involved. The next one is the assessor's office. And as everyone knows, we're going from a fully elected assessors to an appointed full-time assessor, and we have to make adjustments accordingly. So what the assessors proposed was $80,000 for the chairman, who's our appointed, did we say appointed or fired? Appointed. Okay. The full-time assessor. And then they would like $47,124 each. Now, this is where it gets a little confusing. Before Craig Wood resigned, he was the, I don't even know what it is, administrative assessor. Chairman of the assessors, and his salary was significantly more than the other two. As time went on, we kind of all realized that, they were doing a lot of the work evenly, and it wasn't really fair. So they made adjustments. So if you look at the 2022 adopted, those are the top three of the ones we adjusted them to. The top one would have been Craig Wood, and just to give you the example, the assessors were 35,000. So this was the adjustment was 8,800, whatever it is, 800.
So the adjustment was for them to cover Craig when Craig left?
Yes. No. This is while Craig was still here.
Oh, okay.
The workload changed.
Okay,
And they thought
gotcha.
this was the fairest way to do it among, they decided this.
Okay,
Among themselves.
that clear.
So that's why it was 35,000. And it went up to 44,880, but that money came out of Craig's salary.
Right.
It wasn't additional. So this year, because Craig was gone and we hadn't appointed Bill McCoy yet, the assessors had to work extra. So that's why it's modified that budget, 53,000. Okay, that was to cover the lack of Craig's position until Bill was hired. And that was prorated for the time that we were without the third person. So their proposal is 47,124 for each assessor, the assistants. My proposal is if we go back to the original $35,000 that they were making before they decided to change it. That was the salary they were elected at, that's where they were. And then if you took 2% for 2022, 2%, 4% for 2023 with the proposed, I come up with 38,500. So that's how I got to that number, if you're trying to figure it out. Going back to what they originally were elected at, what their original salary was before they decided to change the way they do, everybody does business over there. So you have two proposals, 47,124 and 38,500. And we don't need to discuss it now, I just want you to understand.
Yeah, they want to come and meet at some
Yeah,
point. We're
yeah.
trying to finalize the date.
Okay,
Yeah, because
I'd like to hear from them.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just for the public, it's been a complicated situation. This is not something that, with Craig's departure, sudden departure, it really did complicate the issue here. And
Well,
none of this was not done without our approval.
And the other piece to the puzzle is the two assistants, because we are the full-time assessor, will be going back to 20 hours a week.
Right.
That's what I want to confirm.
Confirm, right, okay. Okay. And if we go down, consultant, we had modified the budget last year for $5,000. That's because we brought Al Hammond in to help us while Craig was gone. We don't need to budget that this year. The assessors put in for a summer intern, $5,000. That would be to help them go out and document all the properties and, take the pictures and footnotes and different things. So they asked for 5,000. I didn't put anything in here from the board. Eval update, we had $1,700 in there. They wanted 2,000. I kept it at 17. Everything else is the same. So we're gonna bring this, so just make notes of what we want to talk to them about.
Yeah,
The car they
The
asked.
car, they asked for a car, but I put that under the building department to
Right.
be shared.
is that comparable to that summer intern salary? Is that comparable to what we used to pay in the engineering department?
Yeah, we had like 6,000. They shared them between the engineer and the building department.
okay.
And it doesn't have to be, with the summer intern for the engineer, it had to be somebody in engineering. Sure. This could be a high school kid that, is gonna, be trained how to take the pictures, what they're looking for. It's not a real technical, needed job, technology involved.
It's more documenting.
Yes, yeah,
Than anything else.
it's like a pair of hands.
Via photographs.
Right. Okay, we have Reed Karen here, so we'll go right to the building department.
Good morning, welcome.
You can sit right next to Shelby.
And what page?
This is, E
30,
3620
page 38.
38.
Forever to get there. There we go. Oh, great, you're in tiny print.
Yes. I've been screaming all morning.
Okay, so we'll go over it, then Reed has a couple things to it, we'll address. Building inspector, 4% increase, all the salaries, 4% increase.
Right.
There is an addition here, building permits examiner. Fred Polchuk. And again, this is, we're getting inundated with work. We beefed up the department somewhat last year
Right.
to help, but we lost LBR, who was, a full-time job was building permit examiner. So aside from all of Brett's work, he's also handling that now. So,
Yeah, we've sort of absorbed her
right.
role and
Right.
Brett's and my role.
So Reed had proposed 6,000 here and 6,000 in code enforcement. And I figured it's really building, so we'll put the 12,000 here. So that's my proposal for that. And if you see it, next to it is zero, but that's not, his is at the bottom of that.
Right.
So you'll see plan review, we just moved it up. Okay. So again, Association of Towns we moved over. I'm proposing we buy another electric car to be shared with the assessors. How's that working out, your car?
I mean, it's, there's a real shortage
Of cars,
of cars.
but how's that one physically working out?
Oh, it's great.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, we love it.
okay.
And it's perfect for the island because, you know,
It's everywhere and
the
it's-
range doesn't really matter.
Right. Okay. And education, we beefed up.
Yeah, because we're gonna need that. You know, one thing is we've got one more person who needs to do yearly, you know,
Certification.
in service,
Yeah.
certifications.
And we also beefed up contracts. Now, the one thing I don't think we did, equipment, Reed, you asked for 5,000. Last year, we budgeted 2,800. So I put in I know we need a few things, but I put in 4,000.
Okay, yeah, the one thing that we really need is a new copier. Not sure how that is gonna work out, but we've got, you know, we only have one color copier and it's ancient and doesn't work very well. And the copier that we've been using, that was, I guess that
I
was,
think it was from our office.
yeah, it was LBR's copier, the color one. And we've been using a paper copier for a long time and it's sort of ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, so many of the surveys have color on them.
Right.
You lose the ability to read them.
Because we have one copier in the IT budget, so we just need to talk to Kevin to find out, like, each year a copier's in the budget so that we
Okay,
go through
so I'll
the
mark that for Kevin.
organization.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah, I
do
think-
not need to put that in your budget if you're the one slated.
Right. I wasn't sure how that worked actually, but I know we've discussed getting one because it's kind of
Well, and
an urgent.
You need something that does something uniquely sized, rather large.
Well, I would like, yeah, I mean, I would like to get something that prints larger. I mean, for full scale plans, we've got the roll printer upstairs, which.
That's just a printer, that's not a copy.
And frankly, I have one that we can use. I don't care. It's an old one of mine from when I had, you know, my business. But it would be nice to be able to print large
Yeah.
surveys. That's the big thing. Because now when we have to do a survey, we do it in sections and take
And
them
take it
together.
together,
and
which
it's
is
a little
super.
silly.
and time consuming. It's a waste of
Yeah.
time to be taping them together.
Yes.
So that's not efficient.
And you know, we're getting so many foils now that copying the surveys is just becoming.
Yeah.
That's actually the last couple of years, I guess, for whatever reason, fulfilling the requirements of all the foils has been just a huge time and resource suck.
And what's the main thrust of why the foils, what for them?
There are a couple of things. One is we used to charge for title search documents, and they figured out that they can foil them and get them for free. And the problem is that when they were paying for them, they would pick out what they wanted. Now, because they're not paying for them, they say, just give me everything in the file. And, you know, it's just a huge time suck. And also there's both a lot of litigation, a lot of threats of, I would say more than lawsuits, there are threats of lawsuits. So everybody's always, asking for.
How did the support feel about that?
How did it used to be, if they wanted surveys, they had to pay for them?
Yeah, I'm just getting back,
Well-
I'm getting back to the point that, This is not a free printing press.
Right.
You know.
Well, I'm thinking, what if we printed them this size?
Why?
Well, given it to them, why is the fee?
I mean, we're not holding it from them. We're not saying that we wouldn't fulfill that request, but why are we now doing it for nothing as opposed?
Because we're obligated to as a foil.
Unless they request a paper copy, you can't charge them, but you
I-
can email them and scan them anything for free.
I will say that a lot of building departments, what they are doing now, and I think a lot of offices in general, I know Suffolk County does it, is they delay as much as possible, they delay fulfilling the foils. You know, there's sort of a series of steps. After 5 days, you just have to give them a notification. After 20 days, you know, it's a series of sort of hoops that you have to jump through. And I've sort of been an advocate of maybe slowing the process down. So because a lot of it's generated, a lot of the foils now are generated by real estate transactions.
Right.
And my feeling is if they want it fast, they can pay for it. Mary Ellen is so efficient, it's hard to hold her back. So, but I think that we need to consider that, you know, just, there's no reason for us to do more than we have to, I feel. You know, in other words, there's no reason for us to kill ourselves to be, you know, fulfilling these FOIL requests that are really just so that,
Saving them time.
yeah, saving time. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, if you were asking for a couple of surveys in the old days when you were charging them, what would that fee have cost approximately?
Well, I think I'm trying to remember how it worked now. You'd have to ask me. I wasn't involved.
Right.
But it used to be that it was where we were charging was for the C of Os. And we still charge if they want a C of O with a signature on it. But frankly, it's interesting, the title companies it seems like they're doing less diligent research because now they're just taking them without inspections, without any verification. But that's another story.
I mean, that's just,
Yeah, that's what you're paying them for.
you know, that just delays the problem down the road.
Right.
In answer to the revenue question, we used to budget 25,000 for the COs and CCs.
Right.
And we've only brought in 14,000 so far this year and budgeting 10 for revenues next year.
And we're doing a lot more. I mean, the number of real estate, that number should be
right.
really high because the number of real estate transactions is crazy.
Yeah.
Be curious to see if we have the Association of Towns this year.
Yeah, we added that in. I mentioned that before.
Yeah, I know. I'm just wondering if they're going to do it.
They're supposed to have it.
Yeah,
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
We booked before October 31st, we get a discount, so that's why. And we have the money from this year that we did.
Yeah, it's good.
Right.
Okay, I think that's it there. Again, I mentioned contracts are up, education's up. Fire marshal has a 4% increase. Fire warden stays the same. If we go to zoning department, ED 10.102. Okay, these again, the salary increases are here.
New car for $20,000, is that a half of a cost with somebody else?
Yeah, with the building, wasn't it in building?
It's on the prior page.
Okay.
Yeah, building department. Yeah, 20 and 20. But it will be shared with the assessor's office. So we budget 40,000 and I think we get a $7,500 rebate from the state.
Okay.
Okay, so going down 4% increases all along. Zoning, let's see, overtime, we're keeping this, Rita had asked for 3,000, I'm keeping it where it was. Rita had asked for a increase of 49,585, proposing the 4%. That was the same with the building department. Rita, you had, I'm not sure what percentage wise you went with for your personal services.
Personal services?
Well, even back on the building department, your proposal.
My proposal had been the rate of inflation, which was 9%.
9% of the time.
Okay, so you're proposing 9, I'm proposing 4.
Right.
Okay,
No, and I appreciate, it's going to be a tough year,
yeah,
for the town and for us.
okay. All right, so that I didn't mention it. Building, but it's the same as zoning. Reed proposed a CPI, I proposed 4%.
The one thing I did want to ask for, I wanted to ask for a little more of a bump for Mary Ellen. I wanted to ask for 6%. And my reason being is that she's really, her role has changed as the office has gotten bigger, and she's definitely stepped up. And she's taken this test, so she's now going to be a senior office assistant.
Right.
And she really, that doesn't really do justice to what she does over there. She's really an office manager.
Let's see.
So
She's more than that over there.
she's, she really runs the office. I'm along for the ride.
I propose 4%, but just as I mentioned, that we increase Shelby because she has the same civil service designation now. I would be opposed to 6%.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I did my own, this weekend, I did my own inflation calculator, and it came out to 11.1. Yeah.
Haven't used that yet.
Yeah. If you heat with oil, as most of us do, it's going to be a brutal year.
Could modify.
Nice.
We'll be heating with firewood this year.
Yeah, literally.
I'm not gonna try and do it right now, also I wanna look at the whole thing,
Okay.
she had pieces, so many different
Yep.
pieces, so
Okay.
Shelby and I are going
Okay.
through.
Oh, and the one other thing that I did want to ask for is a bump in overtime, because we're going to need it. We're already through all of our overtime, and I think we're in arrears. But it's just been one of those years.
Just in both.
What's our let's see here. We've already done 640 permits this year. On a positive note, the revenues are way up. One advantage of all the extra building permits is our total predicted revenue for the year was 391,300. And we checked yesterday, and we're already at $397,691.
You have a quarter of the year.
But
You have a quarter of the year.
we have more than a quarter left. And I think it's going to be a big quarter, because we've got a couple of big houses coming that are, well over $20,000 permit fees each. And we also have a lot of contractors' licenses coming in, the new rate.
Right.
Fortunately, the permit rates haven't really kicked in much yet, because it's only been going on for about a month, I think.
Yeah. Okay, again, so both in building and zoning, Reed had asked for 3,000 in each department for overtime, and I kept it at 1,400, so that's something we'll have to look at.
Yeah, the only two things that I would ask for is the overtime, and also, Mary Ellen's.
So let me ask you this, we're looking to increase our salary, but you also have a proposal for a administrative assistant.
2,500.
Yeah, that's just,
We'll do the math.
yeah, that's a,
Yeah.
I think that was the bump for her.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay. It's might already be in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Let's see what else. Significant increase is just the Association of Towns on. Equipment. Just go back to the copier.
Well, we put in money for equipment, because there are a bunch of things we need. We need just some silly things like, digital level for, for accessibility, ramps and things. I want to get a laser rangefinder for measuring distance, because we spend a lot of time, trying to figure out things on site that are, with a tape. And if you're alone, it's, it takes forever.
Yeah.
Things like that. There are a few things we need.
How are you guys on monitors?
I think we're fine on monitors, actually. Yeah, I think we're good.
It's easier if you have two sometimes.
Yes, I like 3.
I prefer 3,
Yeah.
but I wasn't gonna push it.
Yeah. No, we actually, this year, pretty much everybody got 2 monitors.
Okay.
I think Michael still has one, but.
Okay.
So Reed, basically the equipment is for both. We don't break it down. I mean, we do break it down monetarily, but,
It's all the same office. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
You said you need a printer. Did you need a scanner for larger documents?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we need is, I think we need something. I'm not sure. I was going to talk to Kevin about that. I think we need a scanner, some sort of a scanner. And it could, I don't know how we would handle it, but if we had a scanner, we could print them over, drawings over here, that sort of thing. But I'm not sure, I'm not
But even
savvy enough to know.
It might make it easier just scan the larger, because if you have full,
Yeah. I mean, at some point or another, we should probably digitize our archive.
that was
Okay.
also
So
kind of.
just to put it in perspective, for the 2 departments, we budgeted $3,500 last year for equipment. This year, Reed's asking for 10,000 for the 2 departments. Okay. So Reed, it would be good if you can give us a list.
Okay,
What,
yeah,
exactly we need to
Yeah.
go through IT and see what's
Yeah.
there, or possibly what's in capital, but if we're beefing up, so.
I mean, I think all,
Okay.
Small stuff.
I mean, as you know, we're pretty frugal. We use
Yeah, I know.
desks, we use,
Yes.
and I think the one benefit of having a bunch of alter-cockers in there is that we don't demand as much technology as we could.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably could use more technology.
Well, I mean, I think some of these things can save you guys time doing the stupid tasks, and then it makes you more efficient and you're able to do the stuff that matters. So, exactly, yeah.
I mean, one thing
Yeah.
that's been really good about having Kim in there is that she can do foils.
Right.
And having a, new person doing foils has been huge. Because last year.
One last thing to spread yourself thin on, right?
But I would say it's the one department. All the departments are impacted by a variety of things, but where I sit, the building department, the nature of the amount of building, the amount of permits, the amount of demands on the building department have been significant, and I am very glad that you came in with the idea of increasing those revenues to support what you need in order to execute your jobs in a more timely, efficient manner. So I'm a little bit more willing to want to lend as much assistance as possible to that department to make that department as efficient as it can be. It's an important department. Turnaround times are important when you're building. Again, I don't think we should be in the Stone Age back there. I think what you need to look at other building departments and how to, just as Meg just said, how can I become more efficient? And what equipment would I possibly need? So I'm more inclined to, if we're going to look at certain parts of the budget, to cut other parts, because I just think this particular department has been pushed to the limits in terms of demands placed on this department. That's my personal feeling.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
And with that said, keep in mind when we meet with the assessors that their job is directly related to this.
Yeah.
With the increase in permits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that ultimately, one thing that would help the town enormously is if we could find a grant to digitize our archives.
Right.
Because if we could digitize that stuff.
Yeah.
And in reality, it's, we're old, we're kind of paper-based to a large extent. But I think we have to start preparing for the next few years. In the next few years, we're gonna have probably some younger people in there and who are, much more comfortable working digitally. And I think that it's reality,
Yeah.
That's-
And what would you just digitize specifically? What would be your top?
Well, if we could digitize, generally what they do is they come and they would digitize all the files and all the drawings. So that, and then we would work from tablets or laptops in the field. One of the problems we have is we frequently go to a property and we see that somebody's, they've got a finished basement. So then we have to figure out, is that what's the deal with that? You have to pour through a lot of documents. You have to go back in the archive room and, get all the permits associated, all the drawings for all the permits associated. Did they ever actually legally finish the basement? No, they didn't.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time spent with that, which could be done on a laptop very, very quickly if you could.
I will put something out to Jennifer today or tomorrow on this to look for possible funding for this.
Yeah, I know East Hampton did it about 3 years ago. Southampton's done it. Not sure about the North Shore towns, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I can understand that. When you have discussions with either one of those, in terms of how they paid for that, did they in fact seek a grant or did they just?
The only person I've spoken to about it with is Ann Glennon, who's the East Hampton building department head. And I believe she said she got a grant of some sort to do it. I think they're a federal grant.
Also, what's her last name?
Glennon, Ann Glennon. And what they do is they basically pull a bus up with, scanners, and they just scan everything and do it. Their outfits that do it.
Yeah, I did it for all my old documents from like the 80s all the way.
Yeah.
I only made it up to 2002 because it took me 2 winters to do it. But it saves an incredible amount of time because now I can just search and
Right.
anything for that property will pop up, which is.
Yeah, our building department files are, I don't know how many of you get back there, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are also, things get out of place and, there are a lot of things we don't have records of, and then you find it later and.
Yeah. I think this is an important enough thing that see if I can get a hold of Jen and see if we can work on something here.
Also talking to the different companies, the vendors at the Association of Towns.
Yeah.
They also will work, like if we select one vendor, talk to, the other towns around us and find out who they're happy with, they know how to go for grant money as well. So,
And it would no doubt be done with the town clerk's office as well.
Mhm.
And it would just be really, it would be really handy for both of us, I see a lot of Amber because I'm looking for some dock permit or something.
Right.
If it were all accessible.
Yes.
Well, if we're going to
Yes.
do your office, I want to do their office.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at that. Let's see if we can get on there.
Anything else for Reed? Anything else you have?
No, that's it.
Okay, all right, thanks very much.
Thank you.
So you're gonna just get us a wish list of,
Yeah, what equipment we
Yeah.
want.
okay.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
Okay, we'll go back to the assessment board of review. Hey, you have to tell me the page.
Go back to the front.
Yeah, the front, eight.
Eight.
Page 8. Okay. And again, this is assessment board of review meets not once a year, but one time of the year. We go over all the assessment complaints. It's a stipend they get, it's insignificant really. 4% increase for all of them. It's the only increase there.
When do they normally meet on this?
May is the,
Is Coco still the clerk for that, or is it Blanca now?
No, Blanca can't be the clerk.
Oh, okay,
Can't work there.
cool.
That's why Coco's
Yeah.
in.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's considered a conflict.
Gotcha.
And,
That makes sense.
got a compliment from Joe Messer, who's been doing it forever, that it was the most efficient report we see.
Why am I not surprised?
I don't have my notes. Okay, next is the town clerk's office.
Taking my shuffle things.
Yeah, me too, that's why.
Yeah.
Hey, the town clerk we're doing now. Again, 4% increases. The one change Dottie asked for was, we changed, last year when Sharon left, we took away the stipends for the two, we kept the stipend for the one deputy clerk, took away the two for the other deputy clerks, but we included it in their salary. So we made them whole, but it kind of didn't make sense, everybody be getting a stipend when it's their salary. So Dottie just felt more comfortable. We took the stipend out completely. So that's what we're taking money from A. Wilson's stipend, and just adding it to her salary.
What page, Jeff?
Page
8. Page 8.
Okay, got it.
And again, we'll go over it again in waterways. What we did a few years ago was when Dot was looking to bring her clerk salaries up to where she felt they should be. We had the discussion that, well, we do a lot of work for the waterways management. Let's use those funds. And I don't think we were really comfortable doing that. So we had the ability to use Sharon's longevity money because she was gone. We replaced the money in waterways management, but made everybody whole with what they were getting. Okay. So even though Sharon left and there was a significant change in personal services, we put that money to use in a couple of different ways here. Now, the other thing Dottie's proposing, again, she had asked for an increase in overtime. And we had the discussion, when do you need it? And really mostly in the summer. So we forced out that we both agreed maybe a summer intern. Yeah. And I don't think it would have to be somebody, like the engineering intern, but it's somebody that, we could work that it's an extra set of hands. So we're proposing a $5,000 increase there. Anything else?
Association of Towns.
Association of Towns, this is kind of new for Dot. Usually nobody goes, but I think Dottie realized with all the new people there that it's important that, a couple of the clerks come and, number one, meet other people that they work with, and also just to get a feel for what's going on. And everything else stays the same. So it's a minimal increase there. Okay. Next is the attorney. An attorney had put in for a cost of living increase, and I felt that hired him at a fair salary last year. We increased it significantly from what it was, so I put in for a 4% increase for that. 2%? Oh, I'm sorry, 2%, right, because we,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay. And legal aid, which is not legal aid, it's his assistant. We had budgeted 5,100. We realized there would be more involved with everything going on, so we modified it to 10,000. So I'm proposing 10,200. That office and miscellaneous will stay the same, training will stay the same. So, I mean, if Stephen wants to make his case to the town board, he can. I'll ask him if he wants to, but Again, I proposed 2% because I felt we started them at a competitive rate.
Mhm.
Okay, now the next one is a little involved. I think I discussed it a little bit the other day. The town engineer. When we advertised for the town engineer, when John Cronin retired, and we advertised for the town engineer job, wasn't crazy about the idea of putting a salary in the ad, but we did $136,000. So we interviewed, Joe was far and above everybody that interviewed, and we hired him. And I met with Joe and I said, you know, we'd like to hire you, but I'm not comfortable with that salary. I said, I'd like to drop it $10,000. And if you prove yourself in 2 years, we'll make it up. So last year we gave him an increase. We brought him up to 132,000. So we still was short of what we said, you know, he thought we were gonna start at. So my proposal this year is 143,200, which would be, if he had started at what we promised with 2% increase, with 2% and a 4% increase, like everybody else. And I think, people kid me that he's my favorite son, but I think he's worth his weight in gold. And we have to be careful of anything that we don't keep tasking him with too much.
So it would be a 2% increase on what he was originally
Yes.
offered.
Yes.
In the ad.
No, and yeah.
Yeah, the
In the ad.
advertisement was 130.
Right, so it's 2% of 135,
So
Plus 4%.
plus 4%, okay,
2%, yeah,
gotcha, okay.
okay.
He's involved in almost every aspect of town government. I mean, he's tasked with almost everything, to get involved with, and that plate continues to fill, more and more is demanded of him.
So how many more plays drop into professional services?
One look.
Yeah,
No need? Okay.
yeah, I think there was like a baseline in there, but we haven't had to use as much, and I think
Right.
like the modified budget 53,500 is because we have, like specific,
Projects.
what's the
Yeah.
Fresh Pond or.
He said it's mainly for any unforeseen issues that pop up, like surveying fees, et cetera.
Okay, so we're dropping that from 25,000 to 15,000.
Just out of curiosity, though, where it says through August 31st.
Right.
44,000.
Right. This goes
It's
to,
probably because of, like, if we pay for Fresh Pond and we haven't gotten the reimbursement back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just concerned there that, we were on pace to go above the 53,000 there.
Right.
well, yeah.
Now you're going down to 15. But
Well, again, in the budget, Jim, we showed, we pay for it, but then we get, in the revenues, we get reimbursed with the grants.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, green options, stays the same, 4% increase, office miscellaneous stays the same. Public Works. Okay, now, again, with all the bargaining units, you have to remember that we have to bargain. We haven't started that yet, and we're not gonna tip our hand.
Can we just go back to green options for a
Yeah.
minute? Just because we have that, it's 5,500.
Right.
Rarely gets used. They used 500 of it this year for something.
Yeah,
So it should be 500 plus 4,700. They used 300 of it.
They used
Keep rolling
300.
it over. If you go to page 1, the overview sheet.
right,
We're pulling 4,700 out of fund balance to cover what they got a grant of $5,000.
Right.
And so they've been rolling it forward each year. So just to keep it clean for me in my mind, I'd like the office miscellaneous to do the 4,700 plus 500. So drop it by 300.
okay.
Just,
Also the clerk line.
So it should be 52?
it should be 5,200.
Okay, so keep it at 52, not 55.
Yes, yes. And then you said the clerk is,
Yeah, it will not last readings.
Hmm.
At 12 meetings,
But I meet 12 times?
every month, once a month.
Once a month, yeah.
Okay. Did we increase that on the other sheet?
It was up for discussion, I would do the 700, it should be,
Okay.
700.
I think so.
Okay,
Just out of curiosity though, you budgeted 500, you modified it to 235, and you've already spent the 235, okay? Yeah, through 8 full months, so if you take half of that, that's,
Well, that's something that got rolled into the consolidated line. That's why it was modified.
Yeah.
that's
Like the remaining,
Yeah.
whatever, 500 minus 235 got moved to the
Yeah.
consolidated line.
We just should, like similar to Mary Ellen, where she's coming out of different spots, let's just do one last clerk position.
That's why I didn't hand out that sheet yet, because I
Yeah.
thought we needed to clean it
Yes.
up first.
okay.
So for all the clerks, we'll
Right.
make a clean sheet.
Yeah, because the money may be there, it's just not specifically in the
Spot.
green option, so we should just, we want it to properly reflect, but then we move it all into one.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so, Public Works, again, we're in it's a contract year, we're negotiating, so we kept the only increases in the personal services, people that aren't in the bargaining unit. Some of the clerks, some of the custodians, things like that. So that's, yeah.
Brian's position, I would assume, right?
Now, Brian's isn't negotiable.
No, I know.
Yeah,
his-
oh, yeah, his is,
his-
yeah, right. Mhm.
That's reflected
Yeah.
there.
Okay, then we go down to equipment. We budgeted 12,500, we modified it to 39,400. That was specific to something that we were probably waiting to pay for. And we're budgeting 15,000 this year. Brian had asked for 12,500 again, but I bumped it up 2,500. You know, we can change that if you want.
Brian will be coming on Tuesday
Yes.
at 9 AM. By the way.
Really, well, we can just go on, so if you
Yep.
want to see if you have any questions. Again, the pieces that are highlighted, well, they're in gray, are items that I would like to take from the waterways management. They're all waterways related. And other major increases on highway tree maintenance went up 1,000.
And just out of curiosity, all those highlighted areas, there are 5 of them on this page alone. Does that all factor into the current 6.2% increase?
Yes,
So if you take them out of there, does that,
no,
no?
no, because we're showing it
You're
as
showing
income,
as-
right,
You're showing that as
Yeah.
a, okay.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the waterways money goes in, and then the expenses come out, so
Right.
it's all part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna reflect it a little bit differently this year, but that's, when we get to the waterways discussion. Are we gonna do that one today? Because I wanted to I have a spreadsheet on the balance, the waterways.
Let's do it. Well,
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I need to adjust it based on our conversation we had with the accountants.
Okay, next is town board buildings. In the major increase here is the fuel. Again, I explained that, that we took a year to date, projected what it's gonna cost us for the rest of the year. And that's the number we're projecting, go with for next year, even though fuel prices look like they're coming down. We don't know what's gonna happen again, so we don't, rather than get caught short because we're out of money for, the police are out of money for their fuel, Brian's out of money for his fuel.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure we accommodate that. That's really the only increase there in terms of the buildings. Okay, IT and media. You want to do this one?
Well, Kevin's gonna come in on Monday at 10:30.
All right.
I did have a question, the maintenance, you took it down by $250. I was just curious, like, was it or just, because we have a very detailed sheet.
Yeah, probably.
Maintenance,
Yeah, and that's the one, that's the line that we're
Right.
gonna need to
Mhm.
evaluate.
Okay.
Adding on some additional
Right,
cybersecurity. But I just, when I saw that, I was like, I knew you took down the equipment from 33
Right.
to 30.
and you'll see, we have Coco in here that she wasn't in because Mary Ellen was in. We dropped Mary Ellen to just the $2,000, and that's just to cover when we need extra help. But Kevin will go over all that, that was another very good hire. Really helped us organize that department. Okay, this one, town board, other items. Now, any more surprises here?
Actually, do you have the updated? What do you guys have for insurance?
Insurance is 212,411.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, the sheet that we're looking at is the 920. So it wasn't an updated sheet that you gave us this morning.
Nope.
Could we just explain that unallocated insurance with that?
Yeah, Barbara usually figures this, I mean, it's just everything, all the insurance for the
Get
town.
all the insurance, they call, actually.
Vehicle,
we had the discussion
properties.
This morning. She doesn't understand why we're paying so much medical insurance compared to, private people. Is what it
Just our
is.
health insurance, yeah, the per person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the unallocated insurance, unallocated just means it's not allocated to any specific department. So it's kind of a weird name. It's our insurances.
Yeah.
Liability, property.
Right. Okay.
So just so the public knows, it went from 186,000 budgeted to 212,400. So it's a significant increase. Association of Town dues are the same, judgments and claims are the same, contingent, we budgeted 100,000 last year. I'm proposing 210 this year. Again, for a couple of items, specifically the two bargaining groups we're dealing with, the highway department and the police.
That's what that contingency's for?
That's where the money is, yeah.
Okay, to
I
cover,
go back to the story when I was supervisor 23 years ago, the police were without a contract for 3 years, and we went to binding arbitration, and the award was made, and monies hadn't been put away for that. So it was, scrambled to try to, then as soon as we paid it, we had to start negotiating again, because it was.
My God.
So rather than, and again, we'll probably say this a few times during this process, these are all real numbers. I was explaining to Meg the other day that, some towns, they'll put in dummy revenues just to offset what it looks like, because they know they have money in their fund balance or hidden somewhere. We don't do that. These are all true numbers. So that's why we're putting this money in contingency, because we know we're gonna have to increase the salaries and, when we negotiate, so money's here. Okay, MTA payroll tax.
That one we're still waiting for, and
Waiting.
updated. Yeah.
Okay, police, I'll just give you the quick scenario. Anything in salaries that is not part of the bargaining unit is increased. The chief's salary, his is up at the end of the year.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have to negotiate his also,
yeah.
So that's
but his
why-
contract is tied to
right,
whatever we do with the,
police.
the union.
Okay, so there are a couple clerks in here. I think
I forgot to
Bay
ask you
Constable,
on the salaries, and I keeps coming in on Monday at
Yeah.
11, but, his salary line had quite and you have 403. I was just curious, was an adjustment made, because I thought he went through and anyone who was getting step increases.
Yeah, no, if you go to the subtotal sheet, we kept all of the police officers with his proposed numbers. And then there was a few clerks and bay constables where he proposed higher
Okay.
percentages. So then we modified it to what Jerry wanted.
Okay, all right,
That's why it's
we'll
slightly,
go over that with him.
okay, thank you.
yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere along the police chief lines, his additional duties, mitigation,
Right.
a mitigation plan, emergency management, all that kind of stuff. Should we not kind of, just because people don't appreciate that, don't know that, they see that as, this is a salary for this job, but those other two jobs, and could be more that I'm not aware of, obviously involved in your tech
Right.
and everything else, but the mitigation thing, and the emergency management thing is a fairly significant,
Right,
part of the job as well. So I think
yeah,
somewhere,
we could, when he comes in, we'll go over that,
somewhere that should be
That's a good point.
highlighted.
Yes. what his actual job is.
Job responsibilities are.
Right. Okay, Okay, we go down to equipment. This have to do with radios.
Yes, what we did is, that also has the backup sheet, so if you.
Yeah, it probably will help to look at that.
Yeah.
That's page 54.
I will flip forever.
I meant to suggest that we put those right.
Right behind.
Yeah.
sheets next year,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Okay.
new release, whatever. But, you know, in the equipment, his $111,500 included the 2 new motors for the boats.
Right.
So that 50,000 has been moved to the capital budget because it's a large capital item. And then the radio equipment, we have to upgrade to the 800 system. So to the fire district's been doing that over the past couple of years, so that the county and everyone can speak to each other.
Right.
That 40,000 also got moved to
Capital?
capital. So when we get to that page in the budget, you'll see those items there. There's a few departments where that happened, like EMS. I put it into their, things into their budgets, but we really want to track the capital separately.
You know, again, the 2 engines for the boat, they need new canvases and new rub rails for the 50,000 amp prevention. Again, that should come from waterways.
And by the way, the state has been very good to us.
Yes.
I remember going back to the notes on capital planning in my mind, and, you know, some of those engines, some of those boats, you know, were kind of gifted in the past, or partly gifted. And we're still,
Yeah.
we're still.
And we're still trying to, yeah.
We're still
Yeah.
working that end,
Yeah,
you know, so that
Right.
is, you know, you can't count on it
Yeah.
definitely happening, but
right. Yep. You gotcha. Okay.
Are those the new engines
That's the radio.
for the radio?
It's EMS.
No, down here.
Yeah, that's 40,000, but the
Police.
boats, I thought were 50,000.
Well, maybe 10 we're keeping there.
No, you have 3 in
Rails in the canvas.
Yeah,
Oh, so then we
that's
need
probably
to-
why.
We need to adjust that 3,000, 15,000. You're looking at the equipment then.
So keep the rub rail and the canvas in the police budget?
Yeah. Yeah, so that 3, so our 21,500 needs to go to 31,500. But he'll go through all of this.
He'll go all through all that, and again, that 10,000 we just added is from waterways. All right, so again, he's gonna come in to make his complete presentation. This is just give you FYI before we get to it. Jail attendance, the same thing, 4% increase, it's the same, actual is the same. Animal control, and make the discussion there. We're trying to, you know, we're kind of unique here, the way we do things. We have Butch Labrosi, who's part-time Bay Constable and part-time Highway, and we have Bo Payne, who's part-time Bay Constable and part-time Animal Control. So we're trying to organize that a little better, so I'm gonna leave this up to Jimmy to walk us through it. One thing I
Jerry,
yep.
one thing I want to just remind us of, since we're hitting waterways up from, you know, a fair amount of stuff, is that mooring fees, you know, that we need to.
Well, I proposed in my revenue, anticipated revenue, what I'm gonna propose for the mooring fees. So, yeah, that's gotta be discussion before we
Yeah.
adopt the budget. Probably not next week, but the following.
Yeah, I would like to make that a full type of thing so that there's no surprises coming out.
But it won't be surprises, Jim.
Yeah.
We gave the proposal to the WMAC.
Yeah.
We asked them to review it and get back to us, and then we'll have it at a work session.
Okay.
And then we'll discuss it, because it's a significant portion of the budget.
Yes, okay, thank you.
And then the only other part, and animal, again, I'm gonna let Jimmy go over all this. The only thing I just wanna remind the public is that, you know, reduction management, we had $60,000. And we, even though we're not doing the 4 posters and buying all the corn, we keep that money in to help with the culling of the herd. I almost think this is what that lady was talking about. And, you know, she was calling it deer nutrition program, deer reduction program.
No.
Nourishment.
Nourishment. She's looking at feeding and maintaining the herd. She's
Okay.
not through 4 posters, by the way,
Oh,
through actually just going out there.
oh, okay,
And
all right. So we are keeping the,
Eating the deer.
yeah, so my point is we are keeping that money in the budget.
she wasn't adding the chemicals. She didn't care about putting permethrin on the rollers and.
Well, she did. It was peanuts and promethean. That was
Always
her,
was, yeah.
that was her tagline.
Okay, next.
We're not allowed to do that. The DEC doesn't like it.
I don't remember what they stand for. Emergency management, stays the same. Town social worker, I did the 4% increase, but we do have a resignation letter for social worker, so we're gonna have to discuss, we're advertising for the job, what what we think our, needs are, this was sufficient, or if we have to,
Right.
beef it up. That'll be coming short. Okay, EMS, again, 4% increase for the clerk and the director. They asked for a longevity line, but as Amber mentioned, this is a part-time job, so it's not eligible for,
The one thing I wanted to go back to that social worker type of thing, it's predicated on 25 hours a month. We just don't have a lot of time in a month to get things done with the demand that we have here. Our current part-time social worker has been involved with probably 10 to 12 clients on a regular basis that I know of. Knows everything about every one of those clients, what the needs are for those people. The job could be obviously expanded because the need is here with
Right.
elderly people and people that are living alone and people that are being mistreated and food starved and medically starved. So I just want to urge us, I think to get a social worker, love to have somebody that's local or maybe living in Greenport or Southhold or, somebody that's not far away. Because one of the problems is when you hire a professional and they live 25, 30 miles away, getting here, paying the ferry, coming in, the job is, when you start to add the expenses with fuel costs and ferry costs and everything else, the job is just not really kind of worth it. It really isn't. So I think it's an attitude upon the town board. We have to take a little bit more professional look at this, get this new person, maybe whether we start them at that 24 hours or expand it to 30 hours and see what they're capable of delivering, the kinds of services, who they report to, how they're monitored, that they're in the medical center, that they're taking care of the needs of, and the growing needs of the Shelter Island community. It's just something that's as being on that committee, there's a lot of stuff that we get involved with.
most of us don't even know about.
Well, in addition to the 25 hours, we're hoping we can get that opioid grant money.
Correct.
That was another 8 hours included in specifically for the social worker.
And that's a good point.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, getting back to EMS, again, 1% increases, no longevity. Equipment stays the same. The big jump here is the ALS coverage per diem. We budgeted 132,000. We went into intermunicipal agreement with Stony Brook Southampton Hospital. They're picking up half of it, so our half this year was 117,000. That's complete. All the equipment, everything we need. I'm proposing that we bump that up to 241,000 so that if, this, we don't know how long, it's a year-by-year contract with Stony Brook. We want them to do this, to help us out, but also to get, their presence seen on the island. So we're not sure if that's going to continue. We also don't know if it's enough, 12 hours a day. So I'm proposing we bump that up from 132,000 to 241,000. And with that said, Jim, to go back to your point where, we I know you like to come in with the percentage number that we should aim for. If we took this out completely, there's your 2+%. You take out of the budget. And when people say, our taxes will go up, and I probably took a long time to do this, but if our taxes go up because of affordable housing, this is a prime example of why they'll go up if we don't do affordable housing. Because we don't have the volunteers on the island coming in, and we need to hire for positions. And this is just the beginning. This is just for one full-time person.
Yeah.
We need crews or we need firemen. It's going to be significantly more.
So based on Jerry's comment right there, at 241,000, he is absolutely correct. You were to take this, where we're at right currently as of this morning at 6.2%, and the goal was to get below 4%. I just threw out the number of 3.9%. That's a 2.3% difference, based on $125,000 a point, roughly. If you took out the 241, you would be at that goal. You'd just about cover it. It'd be $17,000 short of that goal to get down there. However, it's a human life. And let us be known that there's no doubt over the course of time that a lot of these emergencies are life and death situations. Not all of them, thank God, a vast majority of them are not. But not having a person credentialed like a Phil Powers or something equivalent to him on this island is playing Russian roulette with the lives of anybody in a serious accident, whether you're young or old, whether it's a car accident, a bike accident, falling off the roof of a house, or just having a heart attack or a stroke or something of that nature. Our EMS Corps, thank God, they do the fundraising that they do to keep the total cost of EMS down. But it's again, something I hope it would be great if the county comes in and takes, it picks up half of this cost. Because that would get us to half our way, but again, we don't know that. Does anybody know when we would know that?
Jack is gonna come in sometime either tomorrow, Monday, or Tuesday. There was an EMS meeting last night that I attended, and so we did go over the budget with the EMS board. And he's pretty confident that Stony Brook will honor the 50% again, for this next year coming. And he also wants to, talk to them about doing the, 24/7 coverage.
Okay.
So, but he'll be able to speak, to his conversations, but it's looking promising.
So right now we do 12 hours,
Yes.
7 days a week,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So if you went to 24, you'd still need the money, 24/7.
Right.
You'd still need the double amount.
But this was the savings that I figured out last night, that I was just trying to do the rest of the calculation. We budgeted $132,000 for 2022. The contract didn't start until
Right.
August because it took time to, find the people to
Right.
do the coverage, get the contract worked out. So of our $132,000, we are only going to spend $52,000 of that this year. Unless, we went to 24/7 sooner, but I don't think that, given that it took this.
So we'll encumber that.
So
Yeah.
what I'm proposing that we do is we will have an $80,000 savings this year, which will roll into fund balance at the end of the year. We can't really encumber it,
Okay.
but it's gonna roll into fund balance. So let's pull 80,000 out to sort of soften the blow. for
Okay,
this year.
then we have to,
So
then we have to look
241.
at the 241, because I kind of compensated, because I knew we didn't use the whole, not completely.
No, it's costing us, for 24/7, it costs $235,000 for each shift. But if they're paying 50%, our cost will be $235,000. And then we also have ferriage costs every day for them to come over. So that's
pretty accurate.
That's another $6,000. So 235 plus the 6, we're at 241.
Mhm.
I just want to double check.
Okay, okay,
Jack, when he comes, if that 6,000 shouldn't be 12,000 if we
yeah.
got two
Yeah.
crews coming and
yeah,
going.
no, it's good that Jack's coming again, because
It's a
You know,
big item.
it's hard, well, not only, there's a lot of nickel and dimes here that aren't really nickel and dimes. I mean, he's putting in, $10,000 for food, increased at 500 to 8,000. Communications, he's putting in for a $5,000 increase, utilities.
Yeah, the food one I know, like it looks low right now, But there's also the EMS volunteer dinner.
Yeah.
So that is
Right.
is coming up next month, so, that's a bigger,
Right.
chunk at one time, so that's why he's gonna.
And quite honestly, it's very hard to say no to the ambulance, but I went, with
Mhm.
low on some. Fuel went up, obviously. The building maintenance went up 2,000, and again, that's based on, what we projected we're gonna need.
Can anybody explain to me, in terms of EMS, not fire department, but just EMS of Pelham, the types of incentives or tax incentives that are there currently any?
With the LoSAP, same as the fire.
Yeah, for EMS, you do get they're enrolled in the LoSAP program. I know for firemen, I would imagine it's the same for EMS, but I think if I've got anybody EMS that's not associated with the fire department, because some of the EMS off island are. But you can either get a reduction in your real estate taxes, so directly on your tax bill, or if you are a renter, not a homeowner, you can get a $200 tax credit in New York State against your tax bill. So I'm pretty sure, maybe when the assessors come in.
Yeah.
Or the assessors will know.
Jack might know too.
Yeah, whether or not EMS gets covered. I'm pretty sure they do, but I just, off the top of my head.
Right.
not
I
positive.
just think it's something that I would like the town board to have a very good understanding of what the incentives are for our fire department, EMS particularly. Because maybe we have to look at that, because if, whatever we, as a town, what kind of latitude do we have there? If you want to maintain a volunteer fire department, a volunteer EMS, maybe we have to take a look at that a little bit, as we go down the line, to make it really truly an incentive for people and what percentage of calls do you have to respond to? What's the minimum requirement? Is there an incentive for people that make, especially in the area of EMS, that make, 75% of calls, or more during the course of a year? Is there another, do you put them into categories in terms of incentives? And I think these are things that really need to be looked at. If, to encourage new people and young people to get involved, things.
So we didn't put that in?
The two items
Yeah.
down there, no, I don't think so. The uniform.
Okay, so I'll just touch it, but I'm gonna let Jack speak to it.
Yes.
The recommendation was to add a line, this came up the other day, BJ asked this.
Yeah.
Add a line for uniform and equipment for members, $6,500, or add a line for member response expense reimbursement based on mileage for calls. Again, they respond to a scene, and if there's much amount of blood that's on their clothes, and most part those clothes are ruined. So we'll let Jack talk to it, okay? Okay, medical center. Dr. Potter's stipend will go up 4%. Repairs and maintenance are the same. Electricity is slight increase. Fuel is again, the same increases everywhere else. And again, when we go through the process of a new social worker, some of us have discussed possibly incorporating the medical center for an office for a social worker. So we'll pursue that avenue. Two offices there, Dr. Kelt and Dr. Potter. So we'll see if there's something we can work out with them.
Without it being too cumbersome, somewhere along the line, we have two physicians on the island. It would be nice to maybe schedule a time during the year, maybe in the wintertime, where there's a little downtime. That wouldn't never do it in the spring, late spring or summer or early fall, where they come in and kind of give an overview of the practice, what they're seeing, trends that they're seeing. Just kind of like we do have now Dr. Potter, who has is getting a very, very small stipend. Obviously, it's not a major stipend or anything, and I'm not looking to put a lot on their plate, but in terms of preventive medicine and things of that nature, understanding the nature of the calls, and this, what separates, say, during the course of the year, obviously, during tick season, there's an increase of our patients. We get an increase of probably 25% of our patients now are coming in for insect bites, various types of things like that. Just kind of a little bit of an overview, so we have a better understanding in a community, and the community has a better understanding. They might be able to educate the community about things, their services, the nature of their services, what their affiliations with hospitals, what they're capable of doing, expanding the use of the medical center here, services that if we put a town social worker in there, this is the rationale of why we're doing what we're doing. I just think the idea of having them come in maybe just once a year, whether you schedule them apart or you schedule them on the same day, just to give an overview of coverage. I think a lot of, particularly seniors, but I think people of all ages would benefit from just having heard, from the medical center,
Good for us too.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it shows you that, the local town government is deeply concerned about the health and welfare of the people that live here. And anything that we can do to improve services, if Dr. Kell plans on retiring, if he's going to retire, do you plan on putting a second physician back in there? Would there be expansion of services there? How would that space be utilized? Things along those lines would be very, very helpful. Shots that we're offering during the course of the year, you don't have to go off island for a flu shot and these are the kinds of services that we have available for you. We encourage all people to get annual flu shots, and things of that nature, so.
Yeah, sort of along those lines, Jim, and certainly not as serious as that with the health of the island. But I think it'd be good, and we had said we would bring in Joe Piccone from Suffolk County Water Authority to give us an overview of how that's going. Maybe we need to bring in, Goat Hill to see how, they're operate, just so we, these are all
Yes.
things that we're involved in.
Yeah,
For us and for the public.
yeah.
Anybody else you can think of.
And to be honest with you, that's a perfect example of, Goat Hill, as everybody remembers, 6 years ago financially was destitute. They were in the red. They were not in the black. We were about to close up that golf course. They could not maintain it. Now it's, what's changed, what kinds, just talk it up a little bit. Maybe it helps their membership a little bit. It gives them a chance to thank the town for the services that a guy like Brian Sherman has offered with Kenny Lewis, and all the different improvements that we've made up at that course this year. I should get a little bit of, what the plan is.
Yeah.
Are we developing a golf plan? And every golf course should have a golf plan of how you can enhance the course.
Right.
Outside of just water, in terms of irrigation, things like that. What other things can you do? Safety is something that was always a concern about Goat Hill, because a lot of the shots are blind, a lot of the fairways run side by side. There are car traffic up and down New York Avenue, up and down West Neck. There is no protection, as people are taking out a 3-wood, blasting away a 200-yard shot that fades to the right, goes to the windshield. There are things there, retrieval replacement.
You've seen me play.
So getting even into a program with the interested people to, the course is aging in terms of trees.
Yeah.
They're the most dead limbs, entire trees that are coming down. What can we design along something like West Neck that would protect the population from getting hit,
Right.
They did, when you put things in, of course, they have to be irrigated too, but, you plant all those evergreens and then
Right.
not follow up on that and have 80% of them die, that's a morale.
Yeah, Brian and I had this discussion just yesterday.
Yeah, so-
Because he's bringing somebody to get a price on moving one of the trees
Yeah.
on the West Neck Reserve.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, highway, again, this one is a little different because there is no bargaining units involved in the highway portion of the budget. So these are all 4% increases. Equipment stays the same, everything else stays the same. And Brian will be here next week to town board, other items, street lighting, Guess that's a pretty constant number, that never seems to change.
Yeah, that's just maintenance of the street lighting that we now have available to us.
Okay, so this is when.
Where do we have streetlights?
Well, no, this part we can just discuss, 'cause this is
Bridge
what
Street.
ties into.
Okay.
Right,
It's like, where do we have streetlights? The heights. Okay.
Okay, waterways management. Again, we have the clerk and we have Dottie Ogar. We're keeping those salaries through the Waterways Management Advisory Council. This is where we talked about before. We took out the salaries for the 3 deputy clerks from waterways, but we are making them whole through the money from Sharon's salary. Transfer to Waterways Reserve Fund. That's with the proposal.
Yeah, that's, you have a proposal in for the increase in the revenues.
Right.
For mooring fees and boat storage fees. And then we've incorporated expenses that are gonna be used for those. The extra money, what's the revenues that are above the expenses that we've designated will get transferred into the Waterways Reserve Fund, because we need to keep that fund whole so that when we do some bulkheading or any, big projects, we need to have.
Right.
So, and we also can't have the waterways revenues funding a fund expenditures. Can only be used for waterways
Right.
expenditures. So that's, right now,
Right.
your,
That's a whole,
your
that's
fee
a whole work
increase is in
session.
there and it's
Yeah,
got extra money, but
and again, we're waiting for the comments from the WMAC on that before we go to the public with it. Okay, next one, town board, other items,
Yeah,
ferry clerk, fireworks and American Legion.
the American Legion, that $600, what's it?
What's the donation?
It's a donation. Okay, I just want to tell you.
I don't think
that,
legally you can say that, but.
We financially,
Paying
we're
them to
in
rent
Yeah.
us.
pretty good shape down there.
Yeah.
To be real honest with you. And been doing a good job in terms of saving money. A lot of improvements down in the Legion, new roof, new tables. We did new flooring, new lighting, working on the bathroom. Some of the stuff we worked through the town with some of it, but a lot of it is, on through the Legion itself. So there's been a lot of improvements down there. Years ago, we did upgrading of the kitchen. So the entire facility down there is beginning to be nicer and nicer, as we move forward.
Yeah.
And it's got some nice use. And people don't even realize you rent that space out if
Right.
you ever, looking to have a family gathering or family party or celebrating your parents' 50th wedding anniversary or something like that. You want to have something down the Legion. That's what it's there for. It is part of the community center. I will tell you, one of the thoughts that I always see is the sign that sits on the front lawn where all the rocks are. They kind of this solid ground there. The thing is old. It's got to be 40 years old. It's disgusting. It's starting to really fade. And I know the fire department has the digital one. It would be nice with our new community center, new stair, new front, new doors, new everything, is to have something where we announce events and we can put them on the things, and we can just type in the event, the Ogar celebration.
Would you do it there, Jim? Could you prefaced it with that's not
Yeah.
a crowd?
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. Maybe it would be done, maybe it would be done elsewhere. That would be.
Side,
It is off to the left-hand, extreme left-hand side of it, but it is in the vicinity of, it's something that I'll
Yeah,
talk about.
and quite honestly, that's where our $600 should go to.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. I will discuss that with the commander, with Dave Clark.
Okay. Okay, next is nutrition. 4% increases. Need for food and, do you have notes on food and appliances, Shel?
I think she just said like the cost of the food
Has
is increasing in general.
Yeah. Okay.
And depending on where we buy that food, I know sometimes county runs into Riverhead You know,
Mhm.
to get it cheaper,
Yeah.
or whether we're buying at the IGA at a slightly higher price, or more significant price, but
I think for the most part, nutrition gets Cisco
Thing is,
deliveries.
yeah, nutrition is pretty much wholesale.
Okay.
The seniors and the other
Yeah.
things,
Yeah, Silver
we
Circle
try
is-
to, you know,
Right.
okay,
because we don't, you know, buy in bulk for those.
okay.
Okay. Residential repair, again, we're beefing up this. This is a great program.
It is
Most
a great
people don't
program.
realize we have, and we have 3 people that run it or work it for us that are, you know, really, really talented craftsmen. So we have the salary there. I think that, is that 2%, 4%?
I thought it was about 4%.
I think, yeah. This is all county
24%.
funded.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good point.
Yeah.
This is county funded, and what we're putting in, you know, the budget, you know, under $10,000 or thereabouts, just around the $10,000 for the top 2 people, of the 3 people that go out there, these, as Joey's just said, talented people that go in and make needed repairs for people that just really can't afford to do it any other way, and you know, it's a good program, really good program.
Okay, so we are increasing the supplies and the, something else, equipment we're increasing. Again, just to get the things we need so that workers don't have to use their own materials. Okay. Next is Silver Circle. Again, we have 4% increases. Meals and snacks, I kept the same. They asked for a $300 increase. Corpus and miscellaneous kept the same. And probably should have raised this, but they don't really use the vehicles that much. But I think, Amber, I think we should look at that. We might want to raise the fuel.
I was gonna say, you kept the fuel price the same,
Yeah.
although, yeah, I mean,
I haven't really used that
Because we've
much.
been looking,
$300, yeah.
we're hoping that's going to change.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, number one, you know, COVID slowed us down.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
And 2, we are getting some people that are getting licensed to drive the bus. So, yeah, so let's look at that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
How come our first 8 months don't, only $80?
So which one?
For drivers?
You know, with driver costs.
Well, that goes hand in hand with the $300 in fuel.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Well,
saying.
we got, a lot of it is volunteers, Jim.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
And we have, you know, like we just, we did a trip this week that the seniors went to Orient State Park. And we didn't have anybody to drive. So we had the option to try to get somebody from Sunrise Bus, you know, that's licensed, or the school loaned us somebody to do it for us.
Okay.
So we're working with, you know. So that money is more for when we do field trips on the bus and we need to pay somebody to do them.
Yeah.
Okay, senior center, same thing, 4% increases. No significant increases there. Utilities, they're pretty much the same, so just with the 4% overall increase. The senior center. Recreation. Okay, we have, again, 4% increases on the aids. Equipment, we kept the same. Ed center, we kept the same. Contract, everything's there's the same. Lifeguards, we kept the same. I did put 4% in there because we beefed it up last year because we were having trouble getting lifeguards. And we got all the lifeguards and still had some money left over, so we'll keep it the same as last year.
I think we expanded to 8 also.
Yes.
We were going with like 6
Yeah.
or 7.
And again, the thing, On the bottom, you'll see highlighted Youth Waterman Program. I mentioned this the other day. This was a 25,000 donation from the group that does the paddle around the island race. And it's to institute a water-related program. So Bethany's gonna work with them. So this is a wash. We're gonna spend 25,000 for the program and we're gonna pay for it.
Did we get that money yet? So we got it in 2022? So we didn't spend it in 2022, so it needs to come out of fund balance.
Yeah, I think I put it in as a revenue though, but I'll put it in a different spot.
Right, yeah.
Like it's in as a revenue instead of pulling it,
Got it, okay, yeah.
show it the other way.
Reflected.
Yeah. We're not gonna get it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we might. She said they probably will. She's still out, Bethany, but she said she was gonna send some sort of memo or letter, requesting more for Emily than what you gave. So I told her to just,
She's coming in?
no, she's gonna do a letter, or
Okay,
if we want her to Zoom, she can,
okay.
but her schedule's a little tight right now.
Do we have a date when she's returned, November, was it?
She told me sometime in October.
Yeah, it was either October or mid or late October.
October 17th.
Okay, October 17th she returns. We have never said this, but, Emily picked up those responsibilities, difficult responsibilities in the summertime at that summer rec program. That's a lot of responsibility to pick up, even though Bethany organized it and set it all up before leaving on maternity. Actually running those programs throughout the entire summer, shorthanded a little bit, so to speak. Did a nice job doing that.
And because of the paid family leave program, we were able to bump up Emily's salary for this time period where she's taking on those extra responsibilities. So she is getting compensated.
Okay,
Okay, so we'll wait to hear from,
thank you.
okay, town board, other items, Historical Society contract. That's a $15,000 item that we give them every year. Community Housing Board. The clerk, we did a significant increase here because we pretty much didn't budget a whole lot last year, and she's doing a tremendous amount of work, two committees, and going forward, we anticipate more work, so we push that up. Consulting.
Just out of curiosity,
Yes.
when we go back to the Historical Society, the $15,000, I know we discussed this in the past.
Yes.
Our archives that we have here, and I've been listening to Dottie about this, our archives. Are they kept in the back?
No, Dottie keeps most in the safe,
Bottom.
the vault in the
Bottom.
police station. Dottie's original office was the front room of the police station, and we've kept that. That's where she has files in the vault also.
Okay,
I think there's two vaults.
Okay.
yeah.
There's the one front room, and I believe there's storage in back.
Okay.
And that one.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I know that the Historical Society maintains many of the maps and some of the old history of it. Does anybody take, as we update that, as we go through stuff that maybe we would share with the Historical Society? I obviously don't think, and I remember Dottie sitting here saying, well, I don't know why we're sending anything. We should be keeping our own historical records. I agree with that. But there might be, just for benefit of duplication of history, when you're looking to preserve something, for hundreds of years at a time, that somebody would actually, screen and say, maybe this is something that the historical, does that ever happen?
I went through a lot of those maps and files and things, and you'd have to speak to Dottie about it, but
Yeah, I think that we'd have to have a discussion with Dottie, because she's the expert on it.
Yeah.
there are things
Yeah.
that could benefit.
Yeah.
I'm
And even
I'm
just for
thinking,
preservation.
Those maps, I don't.
But we're not gonna, that's what I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
I just not gonna be here, forever.
Yeah.
So it's a process now. She has so much history there that some of the history could be looked at and shared with, so that we have it in multiple.
Well, it's also, I think the way Dottie looks at it, legally, what do we have to have here?
Right.
And what
Oh,
can
yes.
we put-
No, I'm not talking about
Yeah.
not keeping, the.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about sharing of certain types of information that it is a historical society. And it's nice when you have something that's very valuable, and it's kept in multiple places, just to make sure that you have. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and, just keeping that in mind, for some of our older things, we should have them saved in an archival kind of fashion.
Yes.
They are maintained
Yeah,
at the
right.
clerk's office,
Right.
if they are that old and sensitive.
Okay, landfill. Again, Brian will come talk about this. Significant changes or nothing really.
We talk about community housing board, or did we just skip that one?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Okay, yeah, so.
Sound like
Housing-
coming up.
So the clerk, we're adjusting that to fit in with the time she's putting in. Consulting, we budgeted 2,500, we modified it to 16,735. So I'm proposing we go with the modified budget, at least for one more year till we get the housing situation in order with the consultants and anybody else we need to do. And the others stay the same. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, landfill, again, Brian will come in, talk about this. Whether there's anything significant that I want to ask him. You can ask him about the overtime. You can ask him about,
Well, overall, it went down by 5,000.
I think he's ready to hire, he's been working a man down for at least a year, so I think he's gonna be bringing somebody in. Let him make the case.
Just out of curiosity, at the landfill, so we're talking about, the policy, I guess, from Brian is that we will continue to be closed on Wednesday, or?
No,
No?
we haven't been closed on Wednesday since
All
they
right,
finished.
since they finished.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We never discussed that, though, that, is that something that,
The reason we started that, Jim, was
Yeah.
COVID related.
COVID?
Yeah, because we had two
and
crews
safety.
working and, yeah.
But it also did save, manpower. We are open literally out of 365 days, we're open 353 days, closed Christmas Day and Thanksgiving, is it?
Well, everybody worked that, they still work. That Wednesday's the double shift day. So we get a lot of, he used everybody to get more work done. And again, it was COVID related, really.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking with all the projects that might be
Yeah,
out
right.
there,
yeah,
what's coming up,
Yeah.
especially with road safety and
Yes.
things of that nature.
right.
There might be another reason why on that Wednesday you could capitalize on
Mhm.
continuing to do that. I don't think, having the recycling portion open 6 of the 7 days is unreasonable, if in fact those people are designated on Wednesdays on those.
You have to understand, those people, their designation is landfill.
Yeah.
So they have to work in the landfill, they can't go out, they're
Okay.
not, But I understand what you're saying, if we can better use the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't think it was an inconvenience, but I don't think it was a terrible thing.
No, I mean, I don't know how many, during that time frame, I probably went down there 3 or 4 times on Wednesday.
Yeah, right.
And I got to the gate, and I looked, and I went,
Oh, I forgot.
what are you, stupid? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
how could you not remember this? I was kept in the car for another day, but.
Okay, and then the solid waste carting fees, Brian projects they're going down. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Also, and we'll see that in a few places. Carting fees, hazardous, all the carting fees are gonna be going down slightly, which is kind of odd, but Brian will talk to us about why. Okay.
I mean, he's, when you have him in here, and the only way, if we're going to make into the budget somehow, and when you look at the 6.2%, is to actually go line by line at some of these big things, and you gotta have the chair.
That's why we have to have Jimmy here and
You gotta have the
Brian
people
here
right
and
in front
Jack
of you.
here. Yeah,
because otherwise you're just
Yes.
speculating.
no, that is what really, with those, with the big ones, that's what I'm trying to expose you to it so that when they come,
Yep.
it won't be completely out of left field.
Yep.
Okay, next one, Taylor's Island, 4% increase for the clerk, equipment stays the same. We did, the Smith cabin repairs, we had budgeted 1,400, we modified it to 16,400 to get some work done. And, we're proposing to put in 11,500. This is for the building itself. And, what, I guess the big project this year, I think the windows, but also, I don't know if they recovered or they got another one. The original chandelier that was there, the wagon wheel chandelier. Somebody stole it. I think they found another one and they want to put it up, but it's heavy. They can't just hang it. So they got to find a way to, make it work. It's a fairly involved project.
No, I'm in full agreement. It's an historical site. It needs to be maintained. And if you, like anything else, you just can't let it go. So every year by budgeting, whether it's $11,000-12,000 in the budget for repairs on the house.
Right.
The other major project we did out there obviously was the dock, which is all done. It's been extended. The bulkheading is all completed. And the storage, the shed, so to speak, near the dock is all complete now, which took a little longer than we thought to
Yeah.
get done with, but it is now complete. So now it's just a question of maintaining the house.
Right. And the shed, we had budgeted 12,000. As Jim said, it's finished. So I kept 2,000 there in case there's any upgrades or anything else they need to do there. And the Taylor's Island Fund, they spend a lot of their own money to do things out there also.
One thing, I think that dock repair,
Yeah,
they proposed 10, which was to like replace planks on their dock, but then we said we'll talk to Brian.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of these things some of Brian's guys can do.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so, to be honest.
okay, piping plover stays the same. Town board other items is shellfish seeding. We increased it to 10,000 a couple of years ago from 7,500. Proposing we increase it another 2,500. This is over and above what we were given from
70,000.
extension
Scallops.
in oyster and clam seeds, scallop seeds. Okay. You want to
Oyster reef.
Perfect.
Yeah, then might as well. The only thing we don't have is like,
Social Security.
social security.
Right, so these are the projections that Barbara has gotten for us.
From state, so
Yeah,
it is what it is.
exactly, I was just gonna say that.
Increases.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And we're just waiting for, we estimated social security, we're waiting for the actual number.
Yeah, she'll wait until all the salaries are
Right.
buttoned down and then she can do the
Yep.
calculation.
And just so that they understand, I mean, that's a big ticket item.
Well, it's a couple
Yeah,
hundred
Yeah. sure.
thousand, so.
Yeah,
But it's just under $3 million. So when you look at an $11 million budget, now that $3 million is a significant amount of that, 27% or so of the budget. So
It's like,
it is significant.
did you want to do capital projects?
it's easily $200,000.
Oh, well, that's later in the book.
Okay.
So this is just,
Yeah.
Yep,
the capital projects is its own sheet.
Right.
But this is taking money from the A fund and transferring it to capital projects, to
Okay.
fund those capital projects. So it's 275 this year, versus last year it was 163, but we'll get into the details later.
okay. All right, so now we'll do the revenues for the A fund. And again, as we said earlier, we're very conservative with our budget estimate, our revenue estimates. Because it's easy to say we're gonna get a lot more and the tax base didn't go up, but, then you gotta scramble for the money. So, again, these are very conservative numbers. Tax receiver, I'm keeping them exactly what they were last year. And it says, we didn't get anything in yet, but that's because that hasn't come in. Hasn't come in,
What?
the revenues?
For the tax?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, but we don't record that. You mean
I don't know.
big checks I get?
Projecting in.
Penalties?
What we got in so far.
Well, this is just penalties.
This is just penalties and interest.
Yeah.
All All right, town board revenue.
collected all the tax revenue.
Yeah. That's how we're
still afloat.
We still,
That's why I was confused, but you're talking about the penalties, okay. We should ask Anne Marie.
Yeah, I think we did get it.
Okay.
It probably just came in.
Yeah, right.
In September.
Okay, town board revenue, Cablevision franchise fees stays the same. Interest and earnings, all these went up because of the market was good. Who knows if it's gonna change again, but. Yeah. Rental income from next door is exactly what it is. Wetlands permit stayed the same. Insurance recovery, that was for a claim, so it's not gonna change anything there.
That's unpredictable.
Yeah, can't
Yeah. State aid, we're projecting, again, we must have got a number for that, 10,900. You got that? The mortgage tax,
On wetlands permits, we didn't increase the fee for permits there, did we?
no,
All right, so through the first 8 months of the year, we took in $2,000. We projected $2,000. Got 4 months left to go on it, not that we should get a lot more. And it's not a lot of money, but, okay.
was this like in conjunction with the building department permits, or is this,
did we increase
No,
wetlands? No, I don't think we.
Wetlands is us.
it's just us?
Yeah.
But it's one we should look at if we're,
It just seems low for the number of
yeah,
Yeah,
permits we do, like the amount of time it takes.
yeah.
It just, yeah.
$250.
Oh, okay, so.
$250 per.
We'll work on that.
Nothing.
Considering the amount of time it takes to
Yeah.
process these
That would be-
applications, it's insane.
Before,
So
that would
we've
be
done
8 permits.
Yeah, we've done 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also, I mean, we said we're gonna talk about the mooring fees, but there's also a fee for, the initial application
Right.
that we should look at also, and docks also, right? Okay, next, let's see. Yeah. Okay, mortgage tax. Mortgage tax, we went up significantly last year. Sure it was the previous year, but we went up to 500,000. We're already 7,000 over 500. And again, we have almost a third of the year left to receive monies. I don't think the market's gonna stay as crazy as it's been, but so I don't think we should raise it, but I don't think we should lower it either. I'd like to keep it at the 5.
Yeah, I'm just a little concerned because transactional activity is going down. There's no inventory.
Mhm.
The ones that are selling are huge.
Selling big.
Yeah, although sometimes the big ones are cash.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, I just
All right.
worried it's a little high, but
Mhm. I mean, okay. We'll look at that. State aid, DEC grant, that's what done with, so when that's not a revenue. Fresh pond study,
Yeah, did we ever get that grant? That was for the DEC. I think that was for the 4-poster program or something that we
yeah.
we put in the last 2 or 3 years and
It
then
was a
never.
Yeah, it was a 3-year program. Check with Jen and Bo,
Okay.
because that was for the deer and. I can't remember.
Just as
Yeah, it was like some of his hours and.
Yes,
Jerry, it has nothing to do with the money here, but just as a reminder, Planet Wickus Airport's lease for $1. There should be, we're out there in the spring.
Yes.
About 4 or 5 months ago.
yep,
I would like you and I.
Follow up, yeah.
Follow up.
Yeah.
Let's go back out. Let's
Yeah.
take a look at what was promised and what was
Yep.
actually done.
good idea.
Particularly with Brian. Brian would be a key person to have with us. Because he had offered some assistance. Did they ask him? Did he, on that,
Mhm. Okay, the next page with the revenue. Crescent Beach is done, nothing to do there. State aid FEMA reimburse, and that's not something we can project. We can't project. Okay, so that stays the same. Now, town clerk revenues. The only real increase here, we went pretty much with what we had, was parking permits with, we budgeted 90,000. We're 2,100 over that 90,000 now, so I'm gonna propose 95,000 next year. So it's a $5,000 increase.
I hate to say it, but just going back to that Crescent Beach bathroom concrete,
Mm-hmm.
the 86,003.
Mm-hmm.
That was a 50/50 grant. And did we factor in the money that we'll get back from from that grant, on the expenditures, for especially the concrete, because it was an expensive proposition there of $86,000 plus dollars. And we're gonna get 50% of everything that we spent on the trailer, on the concrete, on the gazebo, that will be put in the coming month.
I think this is what we actually got.
Yeah, we got the 86, but if you could double check with Jen on that.
Oh, all right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
To see if there's anything.
Yeah, we haven't submitted for that yet because we're still waiting for Brian. He has like an electricity bill that he knows is coming up and then the pavilion bill.
The pavilion.
So once we get those two things, then we could submit everything.
Pavilion, I think, is supposed to be delivered in either late September, early October.
I think he said October, yeah.
Okay.
But then, yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be a nice goal to get that all closed up, And I know it's a terrible time to put the gazebo type of thing in there at the beginning of winter, but the other one seemed to hold up very, very well. This one will take a little bit more of a beating because of where it's located, but it'll be nice. I think the whole thing came out well. But we didn't anticipate having to pump it quite as often as we had to pump it.
Right.
It's not
But
going
I think
in.
that's something we can fix, because I think the handicap bathroom wasn't set up like the other two with the
Low flow.
low flow water use.
Okay.
So I think that's something we can do in the off season.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, the rest of the revenues, pretty much the same, $500 increase on the commercial activity fee.
Just one more on that though,
Mhm.
if, I know the people at Sunset Beach probably went back to their, probably for the most part. We might next meeting in the spring sit down and say, hey, listen, this is what the annual cost is to get that pumped out. Some of your clientele rather go back to probably using that facility. What would you think about going 50/50 or a third or something that cost of the pump out? Just ask,
Mhm.
Can't
hurt.
You can't hurt, just something that I'll think about next spring when we sit down with them. And I'll start with 50/50,
Yeah.
because we do so many other things,
Just think all that effluent to the. voice.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not going into the ground, that
Huge.
goes into the water,
Yeah, so even though it was higher, it's like, wow, we were underestimating what was
Yeah.
getting pumped overboard. So,
Yeah.
Right.
We were very thankful
Exactly.
Suffolk County
Yeah.
yielded on that,
Yes.
Okay, so there's a couple slight increases. Brian will talk about them. Then at the bottom, we have the projected income for my proposal for the mooring fees and the boat storage fees. Boat storage, we anticipated 14,000 in revenue. We ended up with almost 16,000. And I think we continue to build more
Amen.
as needed. So I pushed that up from 14 to 16. EMS revenues, donations, we don't really budget for that because whatever comes in, comes in. As you can see, we received for the EMS 116,000 through August.
Is
The foundation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so the foundation gets the donations from the public, and then when we have needs, they give us,
Right.
they turn money over to us to
I think the public
buy
too.
the ambulance.
Right.
Buy some
Right.
heavy duty equipment.
The public should realize on that boat storage thing, the effort that's went into this, that we do it for three reasons. It's not strictly to increase revenue. It's done for aesthetics. It's just a lot neater, nicer kind of thing. It's done for accountability. so that, we don't have an overabundance of boats in an area. And the third thing is for security.
Yeah.
You now have the ability to be able to secure your kayak or your canoe or whatever boat that you want to store down there. And we noticed that there were a couple of thefts, a couple of years back, and this affords you an opportunity to be able to do that. So for all three of those reasons, and probably a fourth or fifth reason I can't think of right now.
Protection of
Yeah.
the grass.
Oh, by the way, there was another huge one, is the protection of the, again, from the CAC. They wanted to make sure that the land around where we're storing these boats was not being destroyed, the dunes, the grasses and things like that. That would be high on the list. That'd probably be number one. So for those four reasons, these are good efforts on the part of the town to do these.
Okay, Justice Court revenues are staying the same. Hard to really project what's gonna happen here.
It's hard to project how poorly people will behave.
Okay, landfill revenues, some increases, some decreases. We'll let Brian speak to that.
That's fluid, yeah, that's always changes from year to year.
I mean, overall, there is a $12,000 increase, proposed increase.
Yep.
Medical center revenue, that's pretty much what it is contractually. Nutrition revenue. With meals, we're gonna go up a little bit because we've seen an increase in the program. Donations, we don't usually budget 25. Oh, they proposed 2,500.
Which one are you doing?
Donations.
Nutrition,
Yes, yeah, they propose that.
right. And then county reimbursement went down. I guess they were notified it's going down.
Get that from Barbara.
Right, okay. All right,
That's a lot of revenue at that recycling center when you're talking about
Oh, yeah.
$66,000. We're approaching, in another few years, we'll be almost at $1 million of revenue from the recycling center. That's how important financially a recycling center
Yes,
is.
most of that goes to paying for what we're doing there.
No, it does. No, it absolutely does. But it all serves, it's kind of a wash.
And again, that's the main reason we did the landscaper contractor license and the dumping of the leaves, because it's a tremendous cost to the town to take care of that.
Yeah, I will tell you that as I go up there and I look at but most costly item up there is the $710,000 grinder.
Yeah.
That's almost $750,000 for a piece of equipment, but that equipment is invaluable. You gotta have it, you can't lease it, lend it.
Right.
It's already paid for itself, with not having to lease the thing over the course of time. I would love to be able to get that thing out of the elements when it's used, because it literally does sit out there. Eventually, if you could put some type of storage container up on the hill in the back somewhere, and put that thing where it's not being exposed constantly to the weather, and the maintenance on that, it just starts to rust and it starts to deteriorate a little bit. It's an expensive piece of equipment that we were hoping, long range, we got 15 to 20 years out of.
Well, I will say, Brett Page
Oh, he does.
handles it and he takes care of it like
He
it's
does,
his,
he does, like
his
it's his
baby.
own. Yep.
And I know Brian mentioned once, one of the salesmen came out.
Commented.
I think they wanted to give us what we paid for it. It was in such good shape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, those kind of pieces of equipment are sort of meant to stay
they
outside.
are.
I mean, it's kind of
They
hard
are,
to.
I guess
store them.
it is, it's a huge piece of equipment, but that maybe just, it just looks like it handles such difficult assignments, during the season.
Like wrap it in
God.
a warm blanket and make it feel better in the winter.
Yeah, no, I'm just praying that we don't get any major storms
Right,
where
right,
we get all the stuff going up there.
yeah. Okay, all right, residential repair, revenues, slight increase from the county.
I have a question about that, because if you go back to page 19, because I thought this was supposed to be a wash. So something's,
I don't think it's a wash.
it's because the county is reimbursing us for.
Was their proposal a wash?
No, because if you.
Oh, it
look,
wasn't?
the residential repair total is 23, 25.
I mean, like their proposal.
Oh, got it, as opposed to the. It was a wash until Jerry changed some numbers. We can't make it.
So we can budget more.
Yeah, we can restore what they were requesting.
Well, the only thing, the only request really was, for the, Shaken, get more. Everything else I increased. I dropped the,
You dropped out
travel.
salaries.
No, salaries I didn't drop.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
22,400 down to 20,785.
Yeah. The top line.
Mhm.
The department proposed 89, you went down to 66.
So they had 22,400, you dropped that, and then also the supplies.
So let's,
I'd say
I would
res-
push it up in the top.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Personal services.
let's restore the supplies.
Yeah, I think supplies, the cost of supplies have gone up significantly.
250 there. Then,
Page me on the.
Page
19,
Yeah. I mean, quite frankly, this total should be 26,500.
so we have to make up 2,250.
25.5.
Well, no, because we're getting.
But you want to include
The
that?
materials
Okay.
reimbursement is 400, and then just donations.
So what's-
People
Yeah.
had to go to.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Here, not
So-
go against other A-fund expenditures.
Right, so it should be
Add that.
26.5, okay.
In other words, this is for the county, 2215.
Right.
So you want to add
But I also
8,000 also?
8,000, yeah, because
Right.
people, if they're
So
donating.
$3,200.
Yeah, so,
So we can put it into what they asked for in supplies,
so
and we
that's
can put it
1,000.
into travel,
Travel should go to 1,000.
okay? Then,
Your
The
O-
balance
Yeah,
and-
your O&M is fine at 250,
right,
and then the balance should go to
salaries.
salaries.
Okay, so that's 750 for supplies is going to what?
1,000?
1,000.
1,000, and the other one goes to
And the
1,005.
travel goes to 1,000 also.
So it's a plus, how much total?
1,250 there,
Yeah, let me just.
but we have to make up, another 2,000. And we could put that in the,
So it's 3,250 or?
You want the total of everything to be. equal to the
26,500.
revenues, 26,500.
26,500.
Okay, so.
3,215
yep,
3,215 plus
332, yep, minus the,
minus the
250 and 500, minus 750 that we just put back.
So how about we just take the additional to get us up to 26,500 and just proportionally add it to the various salaries?
Yeah,
Shelby and I'll each do the.
Figure that
So
out.
2464, okay, yeah. In the top two,
Oh, you just want Tom, you don't want the coordinators?
No.
You just want to keep them at 4% increase.
okay. 64,
464?
yeah, they're gonna, and Shelby and Amber,
Yeah.
how to break that up. Okay, okay?
Yep.
Okay, back to, revenue, senior center, revenue,
what page, I'm sorry.
32,
32.
It's right to it.
pretty much stays the same. What's the select donations? Silver Circle revenues. This, we budgeted 23, Project 25, so we'll go with 25. Police revenue stays the same. Recreation revenue, this is the, starts with the 20 plus $25,000 donation. And we're gonna go up in the recreation youth fees. It stays the same. Recreation culture stays the same. We have an increase of 5,000 in recreation fees for the youth and a $25,000 donation. Hills Island revenue, we don't show that. That's it for the eighth one.
Is there a reason why we don't show the Killer Island revenue?
It's a fund, it's a charitable organization, they do their own, they get money.
On account.
The town doesn't get money directly for it. Do we want to go through A and see who, make sure we all know who we want to talk to or who's, what our questions are, or do you want to just keep going?
No, we should do that.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
that's
Or just whatever notes you have to make sure.
I have figures if you want, for page 18.
19?
Yeah, residential repair.
Okay.
So Tom, actually again, Tom Dunning, 18,692. Ronan and Chapman would go up to 4435.08. So then keeping the coordinators the same,
Yeah.
that total is 23,250.
23.
Equipment's 1,000.
Mhm.
Supplies 1,000, O&M 250, travel 1,000, so that line is, those three lines are 2250, and it totals to 26,500.
What was Cronin and Chapman again?
4435.08.
Okay. Yeah, I heard it as 34 and I was like, what? Okay. That makes more sense.
Okay, so that's a wash.
Yeah.
Okay, just let us, give us who we wanna, we know that Brian's coming in, we know that the chief's coming in, we know that Jack's coming in, we know the assessors are coming in.
And we've got Kevin. Okay.
What sort of order do we? For priority order?
We have some already.
Yeah, so if you want to write this down or not. The assessors are coming Monday at 10.
Hold on.
Wait,
Oh, wait,
I'm gonna have Kevin at 10.
it's at 10:30,
10:30, there we go.
Monday at
10 o'clock.
10 a.m.
Kevin's,
Kevin's at 10:30
Okay,
and Chief Reed's at 11.
oh, he's also coming.
okay.
And then Tuesday,
Hold on. That's Monday.
Monday. Tuesday is Brian
At 9, right?
at 9, yeah.
I just, as I'm like highlighting and starting to fill
Yeah.
in my spreadsheet independently, so we can compare as we go along. The independent audit, did you say that that was like 80,000?
Last year. I need to double check that number.
Okay, yeah. 'cause
And that we can even ask them for a contract or a projection or something, because I think we did that last year. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, because I was gonna say this is under.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, yeah, we need to increase that number, so.
The town clerk didn't need to come in, all that kind of clear. The town clerk, did she need to come in or no?
I don't think, no,
No.
she wants to, I don't think,
Yeah, I
we
think
pretty much
We covered what.
covered it.
Others.
Have other stuff? Okay, all
Sounds
right, so let's schedule
Okay, then definitely.
either, tomorrow morning or Monday.
Oh, no, I'm
She's got other work to do in there. She's.
in there, not in here.
We're good here.
Yeah.
We're good here. I just wanted to make sure we were good
I mean, I'll
here.
double check with Donnie, but
Yeah,
I think she
okay.
was
She was okay,
okay.
right?
All right, I'll
Ones
ask,
I wrote down is if Bethany's, but she'll send us a letter.
Okay.
Jack, we can figure out a time for, and then you kind of said if Stephen wanted to come in and
Oh, make his.
Yeah, right.
case.
Yeah, I think Jack would be good for EMS. I think there's a lot in that one.
Yeah, no, he definitely,
Yeah, he needs to come in,
because he needs to explain the two items that did not get added from his request.
right?
and, social worker, we have to, decide what we're doing there.
And nutrition program. Sarah? You have to,
Not official.
oh,
Just so that she knows that I think she's stepping down as November 1st.
Yeah, we have to advertise for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have,
Where was the 25,000 from? Waterman, the youth Waterman program?
Under rec revenue.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It's a wash, which is what it means.
Yeah, but, or I'll take it out of revenue, and do fund balance,
Right,
cover
yeah.
sheet.
But it won't change the percentage.
What does the 15,000 to the Historical Society go toward?
Don't get me started. I tried to take it out.
now, there was she came in.
Just curious.
Came in and made the presentation that to maintain the things that they do for the town, the maps, that, you're paying for the upgrade of the historical society itself,
Since we have two new board members, we should have them come in and. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I will say that
You and Dottie went last year.
we went and looked at it.
So.
Yeah, very nice, yeah.
I've been in the archive room, that was cool.
We did have a budget line for town historian, who was Bill Clark,
Right.
the third. And I spoke with Bill, and he felt he could do it without being compensated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's still the town historian.
It was very nice of him.
Yes.
Okay.
would they have to come here, or should the two new?
No, we should have a presentation to the town board.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just.
Follow it up.
Yeah, public.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said Emily, Bethany, we're gonna get.
Yeah, I just sent her another email, because she did say she could zoom in. I'm just confirming what she wants to do.
Okay.
Okay.
If she wants to zoom or just send an email.
And we're gonna check on the state aid for the DEC grant and the
Yeah.
first one. Okay.
One thing with the Dottie ceremony coming up in 4 weeks on this Saturday,
Mhm.
is I'm gonna make sure that Brian, on that front porch, we don't do anything like the week before. And it rains that day, and we have to go indoors, and we can't accommodate that. So if we're not gonna be able to get that done
Right.
well before.
Would be a mistake.
I'll start it. Right.
Starting after the 22nd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we have a half hour, you wanna start the,
Okay.
I wouldn't mind calling it a day, just
Yeah.
because Jim and I are meeting with the PBA to
oh, good.
start to
Okay,
understand
good.
contract negotiations, so a few minutes to
Good.
take
Okay.
a break and prep for that would be nice.
Okay, so
All right.
that's it for today. Tomorrow, 9:00, we'll continue. Thank everybody for watching.